What's up everybody, it's Nick here. Today we're going to be talking about this wireless lavalier microphone system that was sent to me. I just want to go over the basic features of it, how it sounds, how it's designed, the battery life, things that I personally found aren't the strong suits of it. So let's get right into it. So first I want to talk about the design because this is far different than anything I've really talked about in the past. Starting off with a charging wire, it's just a single wire that splits into two different connectors. You can charge both the transmitter and the receiver at the same time. Now the transmitter and the microphone itself are actually in one piece. Now this is a good thing because it's very simple. You don't have to worry about running a bunch of wires and clipping the little thing on the side. Now there is a slight con. It is pretty heavy, so it tends to pull down the collar of your shirt a little bit more. But for me personally, I just like how simple it is. It just comes in handy. In the receiver, there is also no wires in the receiver, so this means it plugs directly into the microphone port in your camera. Now this is a good and bad thing. It's good because there's no wires to worry about. It's very light, so you don't have to worry about damaging your microphone port. But on my camera in particular, the microphone port is on the same side that the screen swivels out so I can see myself. So it blocks the screen, so it pretty much makes the flip LCD useless. Now on some cameras, this isn't going to be a problem. Let's say the screen flips up or the port's on the other side of the camera. But on the SL2, the one I always use, it does block the screen. There's one LED indicator on each piece. Now it does come pre-paired from the factory, but on the receiver, it's a green LED indicator and it turns red when the audio levels start to get really high. Not quite peaking, but just about there. And on the transmitter itself, there's a single blue LED. Now the build quality of this, it's nothing special. This is a very cheap microphone, so it's made completely out of plastic, but it is very light. It does still feel somewhat durable, like if I dropped it or something. I was using it outside for my repair videos, and it held up just fine, didn't have any problems. I wasn't worried about it breaking. Now let's move on to the battery life. This is the biggest weak point of this microphone that I found. Because it's so light and small, it has a rechargeable battery that comes from the factory. You can't use like AA's or something. The battery life itself isn't terrible though. I was able to film 2 complete videos with it outside, and just as I was starting to film this video, I noticed it died. So it's not as great as other products I've talked about in the past. Now I want to talk about the range of this microphone. It is a wireless lavalier system. Now I never had the chance to really go out and scientifically test the range with a tape measure, but based on my personal use, I've had 0 issues with transmitting the signal. I mean, at one point in my videos, I was inside my truck and the camera was outside, and even through all that, it was still able to pick up a nice clean audio file. So I would definitely not be concerned with the range of this thing. Now let's talk about one of the biggest aspects of a microphone, how it actually sounds. Now when I first listened to the audio coming out of this thing, I was very impressed and surprised by how good it truly sounded. This is a very cheap microphone system, but it sounds really good. Arguably better than the $60 lavalier system I tested a few months ago. So this is the wireless lavalier system that was sent to me, raw audio right out of the camera. And this is the Fifine K037B microphone. This is the one I reviewed a few months ago, and this is what it sounds like. This is twice as much as the other system.
And this is my regular USB microphone. It's the Uhuru UM900, and this is about a $70 microphone system.
That entire headlight replacement video was filmed using this microphone. Now that was the first time I ever used it, so I didn't have the right settings. I really didn't know much about it. I have noticed a hiss in the background. I've tried adjusting settings on the microphone, on the camera, but it still always just seems to be this slight hiss. It's not that bad, especially when you're commentating it. Your voice kind of overrules that hiss. You kind of barely hear it. Now I did most of my testing with this microphone outside, so obviously there was going to be a lot of wind noise. Based on how windy it was and how much wind noise it truly picked up, it was very usable still, which I was very surprised about. I was worried with a lavalier microphone it might not be the best at rejecting wind noise, especially with this little foam cover, but a lot of the audio I captured outside was very usable and the wind noise wasn't too bad. I want to make a brief recap on cons that I noticed with this product. Starting with that receiver, that's one of the biggest things with it for me personally, is the fact it blocks my LCD screen. Next up is the actual controls with this microphone. I mentioned it's a very simple design. Well, that means that the controls over it are also very simple. There's just 2 buttons to press. One's an up and one's a down button for the volume of the microphone. Now it does work, but I noticed turning it down actually led to more of a hiss in the background, so that's why I kind of just left it and adjusted things in my camera. And the final thing I would kind of mention is the battery life. As I said, it's not really that bad, but just compared to what I've used in the past, it could be better. And that kind of leads me into who is this microphone for? I'd say it's great for someone who's just starting out, need a good cheap source of clean audio that's also very simple to use. And as I said, the sound isn't anything spectacular, but it's also not bad. It's very good. It's very usable. And also something else, this system, the receiver plugs right into the camera. With some lavaliers, you have to use an external recorder, so you have to worry about syncing the audio in post. Now with this one, it just syncs right in the camera, so that's one less step you have to worry about. But this microphone is very cheap, it's simple, it sounds good, and it just works. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll link this microphone in the description below if you guys want to go check it out. Huge thank you to this company for sending it out to me. I would try to pronounce the name, but I'd rather not completely butcher it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.